Crispy pickles that dispel the boredom of meat. Fragrant pate. And the greasy taste of mayonnaise.
The greasy taste.
Lovely. Lunch or evening, both are suitable. The beef is just cooked, very soft and sweet, blending the pate like a perfect harmony. I don't think the brand will come through either. A lot of these little places along this part of the street are guest houses. I didn't realize that when I first got here. I've seen several foreigners sitting out front in the evenings, having a coffee. Let me tell you, that is the most amazing workout on the fronts of your upper leg. I don't know what you call that. Not the muscles on the side of your leg, just like the front muscle. I didn't expect that to be where I felt, oh my God, it was insane. And I was huffing and puffing when I got out, and I thought, oh my God, it must be because I'm just, out of shape in general. But after like 2 days later, I'm still feeling the front of my upper legs are sore. And I'm like, oh, that was just a really good workout, which is not a bad thing. But I never would have known it if I had done what I thought I was going to do, which was like put one hand on the ground and then just like push up, foot up in the air, push up position, and just scurry through that way. But there was no way I was going to do that with one arm, because I ain't, not that kind of muscle man, and I got a little extra weight. So that wasn't going to happen.
Dead. I didn't even make it down in any hole anyway.
No, you would not have had a problem being one of the people that went, yeah, I ain't doing that. Because he tried to make it sound like you have to. He says, if you're claustrophobic, if you're pregnant, if you're something else, you got a situation, then you're excused. You don't have to go down. But everybody else, you got to go down. And I was like, first off, you can't check for claustrophobia. And also, if I didn't want to do it, I just wouldn't do it, which I shouldn't have really, because the camera just went crazy. It kept pointing at the wall, and they didn't have lights on it.
And I could feel good enough to do it. I know for a fact ain't nobody pressured me into doing something.
But when I went down there, a very young girl that had gone down ahead of me, who was obviously she wasn't worried about the physical, because she was probably under 18. She was there with her parents. She came back out, and she was like freaking out. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going in there. I'm not doing it. And I was like, okay, so she's claustrophobic. Maybe you didn't know that before, but if she sees a tiny...
Now you know, and stop pressuring her. Damn.
Exactly. Yeah. And the mother was still like, well, I think you ought to do it. I think you ought to do it. I was like, well, good for the girl that said no. But also the mother's making her feel like she did something wrong.
You know what? They did that with me with Santa Claus. When I was like 5, they were like, you've got to sit on his lap. And I was like, I'm not sitting on his lap. And we're leaving the mall. What felt like these giant steps, like it was steps from Rocky, right? And I'm like, oh, well. My ass was like, I was instantly feeling better as soon as I didn't sit on that motherfucker's lap. And it was just that guy. I'd sat with other Santas. It was that particular mall and that vibe. I was like, not feeling it, out of here. Also, when I was in KSU, we were supposed to get in these fucking tanks of water because it was hydrostatic weighing. And I was like, I am not getting in the dunk tank that everybody else has been in. But also, I never get in a bathing suit around people. Ever. I haven't been in a bathing suit around people in like 20 fucking years. Okay, so that ain't happening. And so the teacher was like, "Are you gonna do it?" Because he asked me. I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I'm absolutely not doing it. Thank you." And everyone's, "Why don't you do it?" I was like, "Why don't you mind your business?"
Well, a lot of kids are able to take it with themselves and say no.
Oh, this was in college. I'm talking about because that girl was 18. I just figured, her mom shouldn't be the one that's trying to pressure her into anything. That sucks ass.
Can we sit outside? Can I sit outside? Yeah. Okay. Oh. That's interesting. It is a little bit warm right now. That's true. That's all right. Yeah, a lot of times you go online and you'll find a different menu than what I've got. We'll go by yours. It's easier to get on the screen.
Let's see if I can get to... Oh, my goodness. Okay, let me type it. I'm going to send the picture, too, because that's got the hours and the name and all that and a little intro about it.
Wow. It says it's the oldest banh mi shop in Vietnam.
Ooh.
It's
neat. Picked a good one.
Yeah, pick a good one. Don't worry.
Now I have to figure out how to do things.
has received the record of the top 10 famous and long-standing banh mi brands operating over 50 years in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, established by the Vietnam Records Organization. Apparently it's called Viet King.
Ooh.
Kings of Vietnam.
I was thinking Kings of Comedy.
Kings of Comedy.
Oh, jeepers creepers. Okay, let me go. I have to type in their thing too because it's not really, there's not a website link on that little write-up about them. It's just got the address. They're like, go
looking
there.
at the specials, I guess. I should be the little card that has the advertisement on it. Let's look at the menu. Are you looking at the food yet? I guess we need to go ahead and order first. We should say we're having banh mi at a place called Nguyên Sinh. You're going to pull it up so we can show it. This is our last episode, our last video that we're going to shoot in Saigon. Tomorrow I leave for Deloitte, so we wanted to make it a nice one, and the food does look good. I like it because it's like a deli, and you're just basically ordering deli meats and things, and they're going to serve it with some fresh baguette. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't see a website with the menu. Mm-hmm. I see their Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Oh, this looks so cute.
Any food pictures on any of that you can just show us?
Absolutely. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up from...
What stuff?
It looks like, is VN Express over there? Is that like a delivery thing?
VN?
No, VN, like Vietnam Express. Like, is that like a thing? It says something about delivery. Oh, no, it's saying order it for delivery. Do they have delivery from them? I guess so, probably.
I'm sure any of the delivery apps will come here.
When Sin Bistro, established 1942, what you were saying. Let me see if I can find if they've got, all the pop-ups on this page, but it's got pictures. Let me see. Yes. Here's a picture of something that looks absolutely delectable. I don't even know what that meat is over there or this first one. I don't care. I would eat it. Here, let me see if I can share this. Now,
none of what they're showing actually, they must just all come with bread. This is none of this?
Yes. Yeah, I think that you're supposed to pick from the meats. Okay, do you want me to share the page that I found that's got some stuff on it?
That's why it's much older than this location. Diners can try Western rice, which is a piece of steak that is only salted and sautéed, then sprinkled with fried garlic and served with it. The chicken liver pate, hot and crispy French bread. That must be the steak we were looking at, or was it?
Right. That looked really good. Is that expensive?
Like the classic thing. Okay, banh mi chow nguyen sin. This is their classic, I guess. No, it's $170.
Oh, here, I'm going to stop sharing that one now. But that was up there. See, everybody, look at this.
Yeah, we're going to give them props. For sure. In the morning, you can visit the restaurant in a cozy, beautifully designed space to sit. It is very nice. I'm sitting outside just because I think it's more fun to look at the street while we wait. But they've got indoors here. This isn't like a lot of banh mi spots are street side, and that's a great way to have banh mi. And it's a quick meal. You can stop, as you're walking and just order some banh mi, and they'll fix it up right there. The only thing that would take more than a couple of minutes would be frying the egg up if you want an egg on yours. I do like getting egg on mine. Pate troon is my best favorite for breakfast. But this is also something you should try if you come down. If you like banh mi, come to a real full-on sit-down restaurant and have whatever they're doing. Crispy pickles that dispel the boredom of meat and present this luxurious banh mi at home. From a dish influenced by the French, Mr. Meal created a unique way of enjoying bread that you cannot find similarly throughout Vietnam. More than 80 years of history of a banh mi dish that's worth experiencing when coming to Saigon. So that should do that. Should I have the classic steak, pate, fried eggs, and pepper sauce? It does look good.
Yeah, that looks really.
I almost feel like it's meant for dinner, but you know what? We're going to just violate that rule. I do that all the time anyway.
Over here in the Carolinas, they call lunch dinner anyway, and then they call dinner supper.
Yeah, that's true.
The nighttime is.
I'm going to have this one. This one? Mm-hmm. This comes with the bread, right?
Yeah, bread and sauce.
Saigon, before we go. Are you going to miss Saigon?
It was actually lovely. I will miss it. It's been different, and in a good different way, though.
Yeah. I will say one thing about big cities, and because this is, do you remember how many people we said were in this city? 9?
It was. Hold on, I still have that pulled up. Hold on. It was right now. I mean, but I can.
I can do it. It was something under 10. You can give us the number in a minute. I'm just going to say, like, for a city that big, it doesn't. Even Saigon doesn't seem that big. It just. It doesn't. It feels better. It feels. It doesn't feel small by any means. One room or something, but you see most of their house as you walk by the front the front door. They often have the front door open, for air. And that's most of the house. There's at least one other level, but kitchen, living room will be right there. And it is small. They are a small area. So that's definitely where the compromise is made. But the bonus is that you live in a city that has all the advantages of being a mega city, basically. But it doesn't really feel like it. It's easy to get around. Rides have not been more than 15 minutes, even when I go all the way across. Now, I'm not going out to the outer districts, of course. I'm staying in the central city. But even with that, I don't think most other cities don't compete with that kind of ease. You call a bike, and because I don't have my own bike here, but you call a bike, and they're there within a couple of minutes, and then you get all the way across town. Thank you. All right, I'm going to flip back around. We're beginning to arrive.
Nice.
Our friend with the angling. One thing, and this is again pretty much all over Southeast Asia, people would not accept artificial flavored anything. So you're generally not going to go anywhere where they're serving you something that they squeezed out of a tube into a glass and then poured cold water over. This is real apricots that they put in here, and they've soaked them in something in the tea, maybe, or maybe they could have soaked it in a syrup and then poured the syrup into the tea. But either way, it's the real flavor, and it makes a difference too when you get used to real fruit flavor, and can't really go back to
Kool-Aid.
They're right. Artificial flavors and the corn syrup is what I was thinking of. Even it makes a difference. Even the sugar sweetness is coming from the fruit and maybe a little bit of honey. They do add honey in the smoothie shops, but yeah, it's not no artificial shit. So here, can you see the bread? It's got the bread way over here.
Oh, yep.
It's a rather small piece of bread. They wouldn't put a whole sandwich in there, but I'm thinking the bread is just meant for dipping into the sauce.
Yeah, because you're about to have a lot of meats.
Mm-hmm. I want to say too, that big plate that they had of all the cold cuts, that would be worth doing. I know it's not their signature thing, but that was a pretty good deal. That was a whole plate of meat for like $170. Good meat. Yeah. So that was definitely worth it.
And wasn't a part of the history, somebody was working at a deli type thing, like a cold cut type place. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. I think you just said that. Unless I read it and I'm just like blending everything into my brain. Like, did I say that or you? Inherited from Mr. Nguyen Van Meu's Vincent restaurant from the French colonial period. In 1942, leaving the French Cold Meat Company, Michaud, methodical cooking skills, Mr. Meu opened the first restaurant in Hanoi owned by Vietnamese people. Now if that is correct, that is a pretty amazing claim to fame. The first, after the French, well, that's even before the French left, right? 1942, they were still here. So he was the first person to own his own restaurant, first Vietnamese person to own his own restaurant, presumably after the French left. I don't know if that means that the French, that sounds believable, that the French did not allow Vietnamese to own property or something, maybe? Mm-hmm. That's a fact we just made up. But if he's the first, it seems like that. If he's the first Vietnamese person to own his own restaurant, presumably that means since colonization. Oh, true. That's true, because, why else wouldn't he, other than colonizers? Right. How could that be a thing? That sounds like a colonial law. That's why I'm personally, I have nothing against the French. Yeah. Pour it over. You pour it over everything, or just the meat? Pepper sauce, is it good over all of it? Yeah. All right. Very nice. And then dip it. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's very good. Yeah, I love the apricot. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Good recommendation. Okay. Bread is just out of shot. Looks good. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see the sauce. Okay, so sauce goes over everything. And just in case you can't or haven't noticed, there's butter on the top of the steak. We never did butter on a steak when I was a kid, but it's very good. Oh, we've done that recently, but yeah, that is some good stuff. Yeah, we barely did steak when I was a kid. Ooh, look at that butter. What's the other stuff on top of it? Onions? Oh, we've also got onions and I think fresh onions and cooked onions. I think they're baked, but maybe they're chopped up and then crisped. Translation, I'm worried to say I know more than they do, but the translation will be something like grilled, and I'm like, that does not look like a grilled onion. It looks like it was baked. That's a possibility. You're not wrong on that. Oh, I'm so going to get something to eat right after we're done. Oh, my goodness. And I actually have some onions that I sauteed yesterday. That's raw onion and not garlic, because I was trying to figure out. So there's definitely cooked onions. and then the other.
Garlic is a popular addition. I don't think any of them are garlic.
Like, tell me more about your steak, sir.
But garlic goes in almost everything here, so I'm kind of surprised if there's not some in there. If so, it's been sautéed or seared. I mean, with the onions. But yeah, they put a little container of minced garlic next to pho or any kind of noodle stand. Really, they would put it in bun cha as well. Spoon it in. I like garlic, so I'm good with that.
This is a tasty meal that would give you the itis. You know, the itis makes you sleepy.
Makes you want to go to sleep.
Makes you sleepy. And that's your itis. Yeah, that's a good nummy meal.
Well, I'm going to try to remember to include the walkover in a fast forward version, but just to show how close it was to where I was staying. And I'm staying very close to the main backpacker party street, which is the locus of tourism here, for well or ill. I'm actually surprised there's not more people that come here. Well, maybe there are, and I just don't see them because I'm on the backpacker budget. I'm not a backpacker, but I'm on that budget. But I don't see a lot of older people, spendier tourists. That actually surprises me. I would think Saigon would be high on that list. But maybe they don't go many places. Different kinds of tourists. Oh, I was looking at our demographics the other day. It was not the banh mi experience I expected, but it was good. Very good.
You got the chicken liver pate banh mi going on, because that's what that was, you know what I mean? Plus, you got your little egg and the big steak. How much was all that?
I think it was 170.
Wow, I thought the thing cut off. Wow, 170,000, right? Is that what you're saying? So it was less than $7. Wow, it would be so dangerous for me to be there.
I mean, there were more expensive things on the menu, but this was the classic, what they were made famous for. Although I suspect they have a lot of things they're famous for now. They obviously get enough tourists that they have English printed on the menu, but certainly don't see any here now. It is lunchtime. Sometimes I think people worry too much about finding an undiscovered place, when really what you would find is, if you're talking about food, it's just a place where the food is good. That was our Saigon banh mi experience. It was great. It was a good choice. What I expected was go to a place on a street side, banh mi place, which they're very good. You should definitely frequent them when you're here. I expected to go one of those and get the classic Saigon banh mi, which is, I didn't even know what's in it. There's a special list of things that's in it, but I was not expecting this.
People are lovely. The city is clean and pretty and lots of things to do depending on whatever you want to do. There's activities that are like physical activities, but then there's museums and various other things that you don't have to dive down in holes and stuff, but if you want to. But no, I think it was great. It
was a nice restaurant and that food was really good. It was just not just badmouth street side stuff, but this is a straight side banh mi sandwich shop. This is the real deal. Excuse me while I spit out seeds. Well, Erica, is there anything else you'd like to say to or about Saigon?
I highly recommend that place. I would like to go. This is how I get to go right now. I can live vicariously through you.
Absolutely. Another thing I'm trying to do so much that you can see the things that you find interesting here and say, that's one I'd like to do. And then maybe you look at the Coochie tunnels, at least crawling through them part, and go, I'm going to pass on that. You can, which I don't. If you go to the Coochie tunnels and you have the money to do it, I didn't really have it, so I made the right choice. But if you have it, I think it's one of those places that would be worth getting a private tour. Would absolutely be worth it. Again, if you've got an extra $200 laying around that you just don't know what to do with on your vacation. But there's a value in it. There's definitely value in that.
Oh yeah, because you wouldn't have to share time and space with other people.
And other people are the worst.
They are, and you really don't want to have to wait on every single person to get down in those hiding holes or to listen to certain things or do anything. You can have the experience all to yourself or to you and whoever's with you if you have someone with you. So it'd be worth it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was smart enough to wait and be the last person that was going into the tunnel, so I didn't have a problem with people crowding up behind me. But I also there was the tunnel where you can crawl through. It's a long tunnel, but there's the entrance and exit, and then between that there are two escape exits. I just wanted to go in and see what it was and what it was like. I never intended to go all the way to the end, but I was actually kind of surprised that even the young guys did. But you know how young guys are like, yeah, I'm going to get all the way to the end. Woo! And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But it was such a workout on my legs to squat walk through the tunnel. And they probably got on hands and knees because they weren't holding the camera and because, they're at an age where their knees would not disintegrate on crawling along the ground. My knees were not going to handle that. I was like, nah, not happening. But that's a good. I see why they do it. It's one of those sites, and you'll run into these occasionally where it's almost impossible to do it on your own. Not totally impossible because the bus did go there, but it would have been a crazy experience, and I strongly suspect I would have gotten there. They would have been like, "Yeah, you got to pay somebody to take you through this," because there's no one just wandering through on their own, browsing the the trail through the woods. 'Cause it is just a trail through the woods where they stop at a few of these tunnels. And the other thing there is that you might want to do. I didn't really want to do the shooting, but some people like it. I hate to say ambiance because that gives a positive connotation.
It does lend a little bit to the history a bit.
Right. You're not afraid in the way that you would be if it was an actual war, but just to have the gunfire going on here, it's like, oh, it's kind of just disorienting. You're like, whoa, it's kind of crazy. So all through the video, you'll be able to hear gunfire shooting in the background, and sometimes very close because some parts of the trail are closer to the range than others. Anyway, it was a good experience. It's worth doing. I see why people do it. I would, not that anybody is taking advice from me about their tourist site, I would hope that one day they will arrange something where there's a solid transportation option up there, and you can just get tours at the gate. Like someone at the gate, you pay for it, and someone at the gate will take you through, or it'll be included in the ticket price or something. But right now, you have to arrange the whole thing through tour companies here in Saigon, and you really don't know what you're getting, as with the case of so many tour companies, until you get there. But I did all my stuff here through Get Your Guide online. Yeah. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to ask before we sign off, for our final show, our final video here in Saigon, is should we do a planning video? Are you able to do that now?
Yeah, let me just wolf down my food.
Oh,
I'm hungry.
We're gonna sign off now on this video. Say goodbye to Saigon, and then I'll send you a message. I'll give you like an hour or something. How about that?
Yes. Okay.
So I'll stop at the 7-Eleven too and get drinks because obviously I haven't eaten enough. I haven't had enough calories in the space of a few hours for that. But all right. Well, goodbye to viewers. If you're watching this. I hope. If you're watching this, why would I say? To viewers, please stay tuned for the next video, and we're gonna have more stuff. This should probably be the last one we post for Saigon, but you may not have watched the others, so check out the other Saigon videos. And after this, we're heading to the lot. Look for those too. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.